back on the Bossman show, friend of the show, Coach Greg Lansing. And the NSA Sycamores won last night against Evansville, and they're playing well in the Valley right at 13th season. Coach, 13 wins in a COVID year. Gotta feel good about that, buddy.
Yeah, we do. And the guys, it's from this summer when we were hit with the COVID stuff, and we still had the guys here. They've just been an unbelievable group handling the protocols and everything they're doing. And with 7 new guys, it took us a while to really become a team, but we're getting there. And they're being repaid. We've won 10 of our last 12, and we're really coming together.
Now, Coach, let's go back to about a year ago in March, man. It was like my birthday, March 11th. Everything kind of shut down, right? So how was it for you guys, man? The tournament was already over for you guys. So I guess you guys was on spring break, and then all of a sudden you went off campus, and it was gone until the summertime. How was that for your staff and having the guys go from online campus to online virtual, so keeping on academically eligible and also mentally as well when they're away from you guys all that time?
Yeah, they're all those things you're talking about, boss. I mean, it was crazy. We're all getting ready to go out on the road recruiting, and all of a sudden everything is shut down. And we had a couple scholarships to give yet, and we got a Tobias Howard Jr. from right there in ATL, and we took 2 fifth-year transfers there late, and so our team was complete. And it was just really something where the Zoom calls and the phone calls and the FaceTimes and the text messages, you really had to do a lot of that. And you do worry about the guys' mental health. I mean, we talk a lot about it. We have different people working with our guys, because you can't be a normal student right now. I mean, you have to stay away. You can't have a social life. You don't have people in the stands to cheer for you at your game. So there's a lot of things that's been really difficult about it, but I'm just so proud of how our group, they've been mature about it. And we decided from the start, boss, hey, we get to play. So let's be thankful for that. A lot of teams don't have the opportunity that we're having. So let's represent all of those people, and let's always stay positive, but let's really look out for each other.
And Coach, I feel like advisors, academic advisors, assistant coaches, man, played a major role, because keeping the guys academically stable is what you want to do. And some guys, I know me, Coach, if I was back home virtual, it would suck for me, man. So I know some guys love it, some guys don't. So having the academic advisor and your assistant coach really help your young men. Talk about how his key day was this offseason for you guys, keeping your guys' grades up where you want to be.
Oh, I give all the credit to my staff and our academic advisors here. Last semester, every sports team, every team's cumulative GPA was above 3.0. Wow. Every team. So, and that's unheard of. And men's basketball, we had a 3.2. I mean, it's incredible, the effort and the time that our staff puts into it, and to give a lot of the guys credit. Now, when we recruit them, we tell them we're going to have a lot more rules academically than anything else. You're going to go to class, and you're going to do what you're supposed to, and you're going to act right. And a lot of it has been online. So, but with the computers and the stuff, you can check on them and make sure they're doing what they need to do. But we got good guys here that are good students that are conscientious about it, and obviously we focus on it.
And Coach, for this summer, man, those Zoom calls, I know for me, Coach, with my interns, hearing them talk to me about their life experiences on Zoom where I couldn't be near them was, like, for me, made me a better leader, a better mentor, and a better boss per se, because I am their boss. So, like, for me, it made me better. How was it for you hearing your guys' experiences from different backgrounds and your team getting to express themselves about what's going on in the country with social injustice, the elections, life in general, and mental health being away from each other? How are those Zoom calls you guys had, Coach?
There's so many forums right now, boss, and it's something to where you're thankful for the position that you're in, and you're thankful for the group of people around you. But me, I'm as a white male and coaching a lot of black athletes, black males. This is something where this discussion is out there now, and we need to. I'm personally taking it to heart, and we're not going to let it be quiet now. There's people that, okay, we heard all the stuff, we heard the protests, we got it, we understand. No. That's not the way it's done. It's needs to be a continuous conversation, and there are so many things that we have to take into consideration. And I like being face to face with the guys.
Yes.
I love them, and I like to tell them. But I think with all these forums and all these things, especially the social injustice and all the crazy stuff with the election. We've really had some good talks, and it needs to continue.
And coach, though, for me, coach, I had no idea how impactful my show was till the pandemic because people tell me all the time, shame me sharing my story of growing up in Atlanta, not having much being poor to where I am today. I'll be 34 years old in March. So I've come a long way from the kid who had nothing, who lived by the dome. So I could look at the
Yeah,
dome and see what the Falcons played, but I couldn't go to the game. So
yeah,
for coming from that coach to where I am today and having my listeners hear that from me and help them navigate life and understand that you can make it, but it takes a lot to get there, right? You know, perseverance and this being together and have people who really care about you. Because I know as when I was growing up, coach, a lot of people didn't care about us over here in Vine City. We was
right.
kind of forgotten. We didn't care about us over here. So, like, you know, I want to be using my show as a great vehicle to help my community over there where people can't say, hey, we need to help the people over there by the arena, by the stadium, because they don't have a lot of coaches. For me, this summer's been for me a lot of talking. I didn't know I know it meant anything, coach, to this. I swear to you, coach, nobody to me was like, JR, thank you for doing this. Thank you for talking about these topics because, man, coach, I had no idea that people really care that much hearing me talk about my upbringing and my life experiences to where I am today.
You keep doing what you're doing, man. You're a great example for young guys, coming from, we coach a lot of guys from different backgrounds, and to be able for them to see, the local kids down there, to be able to see all that you've accomplished. And we all deal with our own hardships, and that's a great thing about being on a team, is you go through it together. You don't have to deal with it on your own. You've been on teams, but you've also had to deal with a lot of personal stuff as you keep climbing. I like to think I've hit every step on the way up as a coach. I didn't have the big last name. I was no great Division I player, so I had to work to get to where I'm at. And I'm a lot older than you, but I'm proud of what you're doing, and the type of guys we got on our team. We got guys that are going to be examples like you.
And coach, for me, I told a story about this in '94. I was 7 years old, coach. I didn't meet my first white kid, Mexican kid, Asian kid till I played travel baseball. I hadn't met anybody besides black people till I was 7 years old, coach. And coach, I didn't care about what their race were. I wanted to get out of town on the weekends and travel, play baseball, play in Florida, Alabama. I didn't
Yeah,
care. I didn't care what race they were. I was 7 years old, coach. I went in the hood for a few days. I was happy. Yes, let's win the
yeah,
baseball game. So sports is like we're all together about a common cause to win the game. We didn't care that I'm from the hood.
that's right.
You're from Alabama. You're from the country part of Georgia. It's down South Georgia. We didn't care. We
Yeah,
wanted
don't
to
matter where you're going home to, which was you're going home,
get on
what
that bus,
neighborhood you're
coach,
going to.
and travel and hit the ball and win the game, coach. So sports for me has showed me about diversity. It was for me was sports, and I feel like we can use our sports platforms, you as a coach, me as a radio host, to show that hey, we can all come together with common interests and common goals. It's all about having a good time, learning from each other, and being a family, and having a weak mentality and being good together.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in just a completely white town, but I give my parents all the credit for how they brought me up. Race was never an issue. Growing up, it was watching the athletes and the games on TV to see a black guy. Then getting into college, playing basketball, and I got to be around some African American guys and that in school. And I may be an old white guy now, but I'm a hip hop junkie, so I love all that stuff. So. It makes you think a lot, and as a older white guy again, that the advantages and the experiences that I've had that a lot of African Americans and other races have to go through. And so with all those social injustice and the things that's happening, I'm glad it's much more in the forefront, because everybody needs to put themselves in other people's shoes, so to speak.
And I credit Randy Peel, Frankie Allen, Sal Alexander, all these guys who was in my life. George Pacino as well. All these guys was in my life as a young kid to help steer me away. Because, coach, my mom was from Nashville. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't see Don Meyer and Rick Berg as a kid, right? So that
yeah,
helped me kind of have an idea that I can, do this. My dad's in Atlanta, my mom's in Nashville. So I had guys in summer camps who gave me confidence I could do something. I chose football rather than basketball, but still, those guys as a young kid helped me to where I am today. I tell them all the time, come on my show, thank you for helping me as a child, because you all did a lot for me. You didn't realize this 5, 6 year old kid from Atlanta who just helped with his mom for summertime. Just your looking at me positively helped me to where I am today.
Yeah, there's no question. And you know, my dad was a high school coach, so I was around he's still the best coach I've ever been around. So growing up and being around him and just learning the work ethic of things, but also I played every sport. I had great coaches along the way that just because my dad was a coach in the school, they didn't treat me any better. You know, they had higher expectations of me, and then going throughout college and being around other coaches, we do have a special forum to be able to touch the lives of young men, and that's what we try. That's our bigger job. I'm a competitor, and we get in on the court together. You know, I'm going to try to kill you to beat you, but away from it, our bigger job is set examples and teach our guys how to be productive citizens moving forward.
And coach, this year for you guys, coach, the ramp up. I'm playing 21 games in February. That's unheard of. So getting better every day, practices and games while winning has to feel good. Knowing you have the Valley tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah, knocking on wood, because our guys, again, we've had a low number of COVID issues, and they can't have social life. I was a little nervous when the second semester started, where the guys are supposed to go back in class and be around other people that don't have to follow the protocols. But our guys are focused. They're certainly feel fortunate to have the season that we're having, and we have to continue it. We have a little break here. We don't play this weekend. We got our last two conference games next weekend before we go to St. Louis. And I just got out of a meeting. We have to quarantine for a week before we go there, and then we're there. We can't my wife can't even be in. We can't be in the same room. We're
Wow.
going to have our own floor and be separate from that. But it is what it is. You know, it's unprecedented. I tell our guys all the time, you're having to go through what no athlete ever
Oh
has.
yes.
But again, we get to play.
You got that right. And coach, talk about Tyreek, Cooper, and Jake. Your big three, as I call it, coach. Those young men are really helping your roster this year, man. They're playing really well, and they're young enough that you'll have them next year as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have something brewing real good there with the Sycamores, coach. With those three young men you have there.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with Tyreek. He had 34 again last night. He's number 6 on the all-time list, and we didn't play a game in November. So I mean, he'd be even higher. He had some things taken away from him to where his records maybe could have been increased a little bit. He's a 2-time first-team All-League guy. He'll certainly be first team again this year. And Jake LaRavie, only a sophomore. I feel like he's one of the best players in this league, and a very, very bright future, because he's gonna get a lot better. And Coop, you know, a local guy here that has just continued to improve. He's a great team. He's very talented. You know, people thought in high school he was just a shooter, but he can do a lot of different things. And we're starting a freshman point guard from Frisco, Texas, and another sophomore in Trey Williams, who I think should be on the all defensive team. So I like this group, man. And you talk about the future could be bright.
And you got my man off the bench, Tobias from Lithonia, Georgia, which is really literally about 20 minutes from my house right now, where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So tell us about Tobias and what you saw in that young man to bring him into your program as a grad transfer from Towson.
Well, we like the experience, and he and Randy Miller both. Randy played at North Carolina Central. Just with the group of guys we have, I mentioned, you know, we started a freshman and 2 sophomores. We needed some veteran guys to go to on a ready-made team, but we needed to increase our depth. And both those guys have played in good programs. They played in big-time games and big-time atmospheres. They're very good basketball players and good guys off the court.
Now, coach, for this year, man, playing back to backs, how's that been for you and your voice? First and foremost, having to scream back to back games and guys and referees, man. How's it been on you, and how has it been for the players, man, to recover from that back to back? Covering the Hawks, I see how those guys are
Yeah.
back to back. Them legs get the second half, they're dead. So it's just
Yeah.
pretty much the battle of who making the missing after that. So how's it been for you personally, perfecting for these back to backs and your players as well?
You know, I got coaching genes. My dad's a coach, so my voice recovers pretty quick. You know, guys are kind of surprised that I can, but I'll tell you what, after the second one, I'm wiped out. I mean, I am tired, and I don't play a second. So I know our guys are tired, but we've been pretty scientific about it, boss. You know, we document their weight. We tell them how much they have to drink and how much they have to eat. We're feeding them, we getting them those things. And you go, the staff will be up all night getting ready for the next game, watching the film and breaking it down. And what we did well and what we need to improve on. And then the next day it's pretty mental. But we got some tough guys. Our second day, we've really been good. We've been tough as heck, and that just speaks volumes of the guys' resiliency.
Now, Coach, you can keep recruiting via Zoom. I know that helps with the money for us traveling, but I know you want to see guys in person. So, we still kind of recruit via Zoom for your 22 classes and beyond? Because I feel like it's you really want to see them in person. I would hate to
Yeah,
really
yeah,
have to go get interns off of Zoom like I had to this year. It really sucked, you know.
yeah,
But having to choose off the Zoom. But how's it for you guys having to recruit players? You want to see them in person, see their families, and see how actually play, not just watch film on
yeah.
them.
And they,
Get a feel
and
for
they
them.
just pushed it back through May again. So we're not going to be able to do it. And we're lucky, like you said, we got Tobias and Randy for last year's team about a year ago at this time. And we had two young guys committed, or they've actually signed, another kid from Texas and then a local young man. And we have one scholarship that we can use right now. But it is, it's all by Zoom. It's you're watching, you get stuff online, the games of these guys. It's different. I hate it. Like you said, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks not being able to be face to face with recruits and their families. And some of the stuff, like our one of our kids we signed just had his senior night. And as a head coach, I've always gone to our signees senior nights, and I can't do that. So it's tough. We don't like it, but like you said, it'll save some money. But everybody has to deal with it.
Yeah, because like for me, I can't go see none of my friends at Georgia Tech when they play Georgia Tech or Kennesaw or Mercer or, or Georgia State. I can't see anybody because what's funny. Coach Riley at South Alabama came to town and played the Georgia State. He's like, "Where are you at, man? They won't let me in.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't come by and say, hey." He said, "Nope, you weren't part of Tier 1 quarantine. You
You got
can't."
to be a media. You can get in. You should be able to get in. Go in there and say you got work to do.
Coach, they said no, nobody's allowed in, not even for you. So like, okay, so I have been nowhere, Coach. I have not seen anybody this year other than on Zoom or radio show or via text or FaceTime. That's all I saw people this year. I can't go see them in person no more. Say, hey, what's up to them when they come play here in town. It
We had
sucks.
a few. Evansville opened up when we played at their place, and they allowed 2,500 in. So our games have just been family. That's it. And so a bunch of our fans went down there, and our fans, a small group of fans, were louder than the Evansville fans. So it's really neat, and you could just see the difference in our guys. They were so juiced and energized just by having a small group in there. So it's tough. They don't get to get cheered for this year. They don't get to
Oh
get
yeah.
stand up and applause. And we had our senior night last night. We couldn't have guys in here, people in here. So it is difficult, and I feel for the guys.
That's one for you, Coach. What was your quarantine hobby? Mine was playing the guitar, Coach. I can do some stringing. I can play the guitar and string. What was your quarantine hobby now, Coach?
The wife and I got on Netflix, and we went through some series. I'm all about, especially when there's no games on. But now that there's games back on, I'm usually pretty much watching those. But it's been Netflix.
No doubt. Well, Coach Lance, thank you for your time today, as always. Let's catch up with you, man. Let's take against Valpo next week, and I'll definitely watching for you guys in the Valley tournament. Hope to talk to you in March again when you go to the big dance for the
All
Tickles,
right,
Coach.
man. I appreciate you, boss.
Coach, anytime, buddy. You be safe, man.
You too. Thanks.
All right.